Parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
This isn't going to end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
In a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to wait and see. It's coming up soon.
90 minutes. That's all it took for Justin Baldoni to land his first major courtroom win against Blake Lively, throwing her legal team into complete chaos. While this wasn't the final ruling, it was a pivotal moment that could set the entire course of this battle. And from the way things were unfolding, Blake's chances weren't looking good. If you've missed the drama, here's the deal. Blake Lively came after Justin Baldoni with a jaw-dropping $250 million lawsuit, accusing him of some serious wrongdoing. But Justin wasn't about to sit back and take it. He struck back even harder, slapping her with a massive $400 million countersuit, alleging extortion and defamation. After months of heated back and forth, the showdown had finally reached the courtroom, setting the stage for one of Hollywood's most explosive legal battles in years. From the second the proceedings started, Justin's attorney Brian Friedman came in with guns blazing, making it crystal clear that he wasn't here to play nice. His ruthless approach had Blake's legal team rattled, and who could blame them? This was the same man who had openly vowed to take Blake down in court, and judging by his tactics, he had every intention of keeping that promise.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan.
Blake's attorneys were so shaken that they made a desperate move. They tried to slap Justin's lawyer with a gag order, hoping to shut him up before he could drop any more bombshells. But the judge wasn't having it. In a swift and decisive ruling, he shot down their request, pointing out the obvious. Blake's own legal team had been just as loud in the media. Silencing Friedman while letting Blake's side keep talking? Absolutely not. The judge made it clear. This courtroom wasn't a place for double standards. That ruling was a major win for Justin's camp, but things were about to spiral even further out of control for Blake. Frustrated and flustered, her lawyers kept pushing, arguing that Friedman's constant media appearances were making it impossible for them to respond properly. Every time they tried to fire back, he had already dropped another jaw-dropping revelation, keeping them in a never-ending game of catch-up. But once again, the judge wasn't swayed. He dismissed their complaints on the spot, reinforcing that Friedman had every right to speak publicly about the case. Another crushing defeat for Blake's team. But the real storm hit when they realized Justin Baldoni wasn't just fighting this battle in court, he was waging war on the internet too. Blake's legal team hit the roof when they uncovered Justin's latest move. He had launched an entire website dedicated to the case.
Baldoni's team launched a new website over the weekend, featuring an amended legal complaint and a 168-page timeline of events, including newly released text messages allegedly sent between the embattled stars of It Ends With Us, as well as Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds. One alleged text from Reynolds to Baldoni expresses his excitement about It Ends With Us, writing, "This is gonna be incredible. I happen to adore you, Justin."
His plan? To upload every piece of evidence he had. Videos, legal documents, text messages, anything that supported his side of the story. Blake's lawyers were outraged, calling it a blatant attempt to manipulate public opinion before the trial had even taken off. But Friedman wasn't about to let them twist the rules to suit their needs. He fired back, reminding the court that Blake was the one who had gone public first.
The lawyer also brought up the website that was put out this weekend, saying Blake's lawyer also complained about Justin Baldoni's new website dedicated to the case, telling the judge they think this is improper. Brian Friedman, his lawyer, defended this by saying that Blake's team is doing the same thing, citing the New York Times article where Blake first made her sexual harassment claims against Justin. He says the paper only gave Justin 12 hours of notice.
She had taken her allegations straight to the New York Times, blindsiding Justin with just 12 hours to respond before the explosive article was published. He barely had time to defend himself before his reputation took a major hit. If Blake had the right to shape the narrative through the press, why shouldn't Justin be allowed to fight back in the same way? That argument hit like a freight train, and the judge agreed. Yet another win for Justin. But then came the most brutal blow of the day. Desperate to regain some control, Blake's legal team made a bold request. They wanted her to have the power to choose who would interrogate her during her deposition, clearly hoping to dodge a face-off with Friedman himself. But the judge wasn't playing along. Without a second thought, he ruled that Blake had no right to handpick her own interrogator.
Counsel for Miss Lively has made it clear that Miss Lively does not want Mr. Friedman to be the attorney who takes her deposition. We are unaware of any situation that would warrant the deposed party to have a choice in which attorney takes her deposition. Parties to litigation simply do not have the right to decide which of the other opponent's attorneys may or may not take their deposition or perform any other aspects of the opposing party's case. And essentially, the judge agreed and told her lawyer that she does not get to choose who deposes her.
She would have no choice. She had to answer questions from whoever the court assigned, whether she liked it or not. By the time the hearing wrapped up, one thing was crystal clear. Justin's side had dominated. Every single attempt by Blake's legal team to silence Friedman had not only failed, but backfired. Instead of slowing him down, they had handed him even more chances to hammer his case home. The battle was far from over, but if this was just the beginning, Blake was staring down an uphill war. And her legal team knew it. You could see the panic setting in, the frustration seeping through their every move. They understood exactly what had just happened. Friedman was coming for her, and there was nothing they could do to stop him. Blake has every reason to be terrified, because Brian Friedman is ruthless. He isn't going to let her dodge a single question. For those unfamiliar with legal proceedings, a deposition is no PR event. It's sworn testimony. Every word she says will be locked in and used against her at trial. There are no lawyer-approved responses, no carefully crafted media spin, just relentless questioning under oath. And from the way her legal team has been scrambling to shield her from Friedman, one thing is obvious. She is not ready, not even close. And that brings up a huge question. If Blake is so confident in her accusations, why is she so desperate to avoid a deposition? If she was telling the truth, wouldn't she want to go on record and let the facts speak for themselves? Instead, she and her lawyers have been throwing out excuse after excuse, trying everything in their power to keep Friedman away. Because once she's sitting in that chair, there will be no more leaks, no more distractions, just the cold, hard facts. But the judge saw right through it. He denied their request, dealing yet another brutal blow to Blake's side. And by the time the hearing ended, the reality was undeniable.
To move as quickly as we possibly can and prove our innocence in a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
Justin and his team had won every single argument. One ruling after another fell in his favor, while Blake's legal team suffered loss after loss. And just when they thought it couldn't get any worse, boom. The judge dropped another bombshell. Both lawsuits, Blake's $250 million claim and Justin's $400 million countersuit, were officially merged into one case. No more dragging things out. No more playing games. This will be one massive, high-stakes, no-holds-barred courtroom showdown. And the trial? It's locked in for March 2026 unless they reach a settlement before then. But let's be real. If this actually goes to trial, Blake is in serious trouble. She has already lost multiple key legal battles, and the case hasn't even truly begun. If this downward spiral continues, she could find herself sitting in court, watching as every piece of evidence Justin has collected is laid out for the world to see. And this isn't just about legal wins and losses, this is about public perception. Blake's once flawless reputation, it's cracking. Fans are divided. Some remain loyal, but others, they're starting to question everything. Meanwhile, Justin is meticulously building his case, collecting receipts, compiling proof, making sure he has every single piece he needs to flip the narrative on its head. And the fact that he launched a whole website dedicated to the case, that speaks volumes. This isn't just a court battle anymore. It's a war for the truth. Blake used the media to take Justin down. Now, he's using the internet to fight back. And it's working. So, she needs to ask herself a very tough question. Is it worth dragging this out? Or should she cut her losses, apologize, and walk away before she completely destroys herself? Because if she loses this case, she won't just walk away with a tarnished reputation, she'll be looking at a $400 million disaster. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.